Welcome to Lesson 2. This week we'll be focusing on writing a thesis and focusing on a "this I believe" statement. So as you look through the introduction, you will notice that there are several things you're going to have to do in the Start Here folder. Unit 2 involves thinking about the self. The brief overview tells you that you're going to be doing 3 things in this unit. You're going to write a thesis, you're going to focus on the writing process, and make revisions. That's a pretty vague way of saying that you are going to be writing a "this I believe" statement and eventually turn it into a podcast. It's going to be very exciting and a fun way to present this information. This week's outcomes involve writing your thesis or establishing your "this I believe" statement. What you want to do is read the project guidelines and several examples. They're all found on the npr.org website, and there are literally thousands of "this I believe" statements. There's lots of good ones, and there's some that aren't so good. The ones that have been put in your Prepare folder right here, where you can read the examples, are all good examples. These examples right here are good examples of narrative. They show a so what sort of factor to what they believe, and they're fun to read. So all of that makes a good example of a "this I believe" statement. This week, as you prepare to write your thesis, I want you to watch these 3 presentations. Make sure you understand what they're talking about so that you know what it means for you to write yourself a thesis on a "this I believe" statement. Once you've watched these, read the project guidelines, you should have a good idea of your statement that you want to make, what you believe, what you want to tell the world and the class. That's when you can come here to the belief statement. This is the discussion board where you are basically going to tell the class your own belief statement. That's going to be the focus of your essay. This is your paper. We're going to be able to see lots of good examples as our class adds to these. Make sure you put this on that discussion. The "this I believe" project is the main focus of this unit. And what you need to do basically is decide something that you believe as something that's a personal philosophy or a personal statement. Something that doesn't have to be very serious, although it can be, of course, but it can also be funny, like it says right here. It can be funny, it can be real. It tells a story, it has a point, but it's short and it shows a daily life philosophy that shapes your beliefs. As you scroll down, you'll see that in week 4, you'll post a written copy of this, and then you move on to put it on as a podcast or as a screencast, and it will give you some very detailed statements about how to do that in this instructional video down here. We can get onto that another week when we have to have that be your focus. But this week, all you really need is your thesis statement, your "this I believe" statement. So think about it a lot. I know I did. I sat today and yesterday and pondered what I would say for my "this I believe" statement, and I came up with this thesis. My "this I believe" statement, which I will be posting in your discussion board that you'll see, is: I believe in the power of bravado. That's it. That's my statement. Now, of course, you want to read more and find out what I believe about bravado and what I think that it means to have the power of bravado. But that's my statement. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to have a lot of meaning and depth at this point, but it does have to be a start. So that's where you should be looking and thinking this week, and that's all you really have to produce is a statement, as simple as that. I want to point out this website right here. If you'll click there, they don't link to it. I will link to it for you though in your notes. So if you want to see this, make sure you go to your notes. There's a website. This has been going on for years. This radio show has been having thousands of people read there, so you can hear it read by the authors, which I think is one of the most powerful features of the "this I believe" essay. The Art of Being a Neighbor, I Am Still the Greatest, Dancing to Connect to a Global Tribe. This one has been one of my favorite ones. You should watch that. It's a great one. There are lots of different essays that are awesome that you should read. Make sure you focus on what it is you want to say and put that in your thesis statement. That's really what you need to produce this week. Good luck, and if you have questions about this easy part of the assignment, let me know. We'll get more complicated as the weeks go on. Your other discussion this week will be falling into your discussion groups. I want to see you each one of you, post something in this thread by Wednesday. If you do not post something by Wednesday, I probably will not give you your full points for participating in the week. In order to make this really functional, we have to be using it throughout the week. So make sure that you are able to do that. You'll notice that you'll be in 3 different groups, so you won't have everyone in the class's statements and discussions to read. But this is where you respond to the readings. This is where you can talk about the different "this I believe" statements, or what it means to write a thesis, or what the different topics could be depending on your discussion group leaders in your group. So make sure you're participating in that. I want to see lots of good discussion and back and forth conversation. Don't just respond to yourself, but respond to what other people say in the group. So those are the main ideas. Let's go back up to the start here. I want to point one other thing out. As we scroll down here. The instructions right here are a very concise way of saying what I've been telling you, right? You don't have to write a full paper or anything huge this week. All you have to do is write a "this I believe" statement in your Teach One Another folder. In the Ponder Proof folder, there's an end of week self-assessment that you'll have to complete. That should cover this week, but remember, next week, as part of this unit, you're going to have to start writing your "this I believe" statement and taking it through the writing process. So keep that in mind as you go throughout the unit. I will post some examples and some ideas for "this I believe" in my instructor's notes. Make sure you read those thoroughly, because I do try and spend some time making those helpful and useful to you. So that should also work. If you have questions, feel free to email me or go to the course notes. The course questions that are found up here. Enter the course. Right here, there's lots of good questions you can ask and answer and help each other out. That should be everything you need to do. I'm excited to see what you guys believe this week. Thank you and goodbye.